everyone, it's Elizabeth here, and I've come into the group today for some office hours because I want to share with you some hints and tips for project planning and making sure you're doing it in the right order in a really structured way. So this is the topic for today because I had an email come through from somebody into my inbox who asked, as a beginner project manager, what steps he should be doing to make sure that he's covering everything he needs to do for project planning. So I thought, well, that's actually quite good. It's good to go back to basics every so often and think through what is it actually that I do, because the more experience you have as a project manager, the more natural this stuff becomes, and you don't actually spend any time thinking about what you do, you just get on and do it. So let's talk about what the steps are for project planning. First off, so I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps. First, meet your stakeholders. So you want to be finding out what's important to them, what they want to get out of the project, their tolerance for risk, their belief in quality, that kind of thing. So meet your stakeholders first. That's the first thing you should do when you start project planning. Secondly, you want to find out from them the goals, the overall objective for the project. So what is their vision? Where are they wanting this project to take them? Where do they want to go with all of the stuff that you're doing in project planning? The reason for finding out that is because you want to know the goal. Where are you trying to get to? You're trying to get over here with the project, and you want to be able to plan to reach that goal up here. However, you can't break that down and work out your little steps to get there unless you know what the big picture is. So by talking to them about the vision, the goals, the overall objective, you get a sense of where they want you to go, and then you can start thinking about how you get there. So step 3 is, how do we get there? How do we get to that vision? It's about breaking down the project into chunks. This is the step where you identify the deliverables. So you're looking at, what do I need to do to create this project? What do I need to do to get this goal achieved? And you break down the steps into various different deliverables. We use the word deliverable. You could call it thing, output, product, whatever it is, but it describes the element that you are handing over to someone at the end that will help them get closer to their goal. So let's give you some examples. If I was building a house, the deliverables would be foundations, walls, roof, garden, landscaping, furniture, interior design, painting. The deliverables would be each chunk. Once you know what those deliverables are, and you can just brainstorm them, work them out with your team. It's always good to involve your team in this. You can then move on to the 4th step, which is working out the tasks. So your deliverable might be the foundations of the house, but the tasks will be organise the digger to come, dig out the foundation, dig out the hole in the ground, build in some bricks, put some cement. You can tell I've never built a house before, but this is the kind of thing that you would then break down your bigger chunk of work into the smaller tasks that need to be done in order to complete that work. Once you have poured the cement, dug the hole, cleared up the building site, whatever it is, you hand the foundations over to the next step, which will be building the walls or putting in the floors or whatever comes next with house building. So if you were building an app on your phone, your deliverable might be the app, but your tasks would be, we need to design a logo, we need to sort out some wireframes, we need to design the code, we need to build the code, we need to test the code, we need a task about getting the app uploaded into the App Store so people can actually download it, we need to set the price, we need some advertising. There's various different things that you have to work out in order to get to this goal. Now, this is the hardest part of any project, is trying to work out exactly what steps you need to do, what are the tasks. That's where you need to use your subject matter experts, and you need to spend time with your team breaking down the work into the smallest component parts that you can reasonably think of that would work to actually be delivered. So if you came to me and said, I want you to build me a house, I'd go, oh, I don't know where to start with that. But if I was a cement mix operator and you said, I want you to pour the cement for the foundations for this house, then I'd say, okay, that's my area of expertise. I know how to do that. I know what's required. I know it will take me 3 days. You're using your subject matter experts to help you identify what they need to do And if I'm not a building person or an architect, I would be going to the cement mix operator and saying, I'm putting the foundations together for a house. You've done this 50,000 times already with loads of different other houses. What is it that I need to know to help me plan? How long does it take you? What resources do you need? When do you come in the path? Do you pour the cement before and after the other people come to the building site and lay cables or whatever they do? So use your experts to help you work out the tasks, how long they're going to take, and the order that they have to happen. So we've kind of skipped ahead there. So we've decided on the tasks. You've then got a step around allocating people to the tasks. I think that comes naturally because if you're talking and you're working as a team and you're using your subject matter experts, you will find that that conversation happens naturally. They'll either nominate somebody in their team to take the work on, or they'll say, yeah, actually, hands up, that's me, I have to do that. So you can put their name on your project plan. What it is that you then take that information, so you've got a list of tasks, a list of people, any other resources that they have identified that they need. So the cement mix operator needs the cement mix turning machine, the gravel, the sand, the cement ingredients, the trowel to lay it down. I don't know. My knowledge of building comes from watching Bob the Builder with my kids. So they would need other resources, right? So you know now the task, the resources, the people involved. You know the order that tasks have to come because you've talked to people and you're starting to see the picture, how the different tasks hang together. Because you don't put the roof on the house before the foundation is built. You don't put the app in the App Store before you've written a line of code. So you have to make sure that your tasks are scheduled and are ready to happen in the right order. Then it's just a case of writing it down. Write your project plan down, put your project schedule into scheduling software. It's the easiest, quickest way to do it, and your company probably has a tool that they can use, that they use anyway for this. So you're listing your tasks, you're listing dates that they could start based on how long task is likely to take. You're allocating people to do the work, and you are making a separate note, perhaps somewhere else, of the things that they need to be provided with in order to be able to do their best work. Then that is your plan. That is your theoretical schedule, which is good, but it's not enough to make it work in real life. Because what you haven't done yet is factored in that somebody's got 2 weeks holiday, or that you're coming up to we're coming up to the Easter vacation here in the UK. So there's a lot of people off work, and there's 2 bank holidays where the office is closed. So you can't be scheduling tasks to happen on days that you know people aren't working. So there's that to take into account. You might also want to look at your work, the profile of the project, and start to think, actually that bit's really risky. What would happen if we put that earlier and we try to get out some of the inherent risk and make ourselves more likely to succeed later because we've dealt with the risky, dodgy parts up front. So there could be some jiggery pokery? Don't know if that culturally translates, what we would say in the UK for mixing things around, to get your schedule in the order that makes the most sense, that is most likely to give you a successful outcome. So you've looked at taking holidays into account, you've looked at the other risk factors, you've got a schedule that could be delivered, that seems quite reasonable. So that is good. Now what you've got to do is take that back to your stakeholders. This whole process for planning to help your stakeholders get to this goal up here was to start with the stakeholders. We met them, we talked to them about what they wanted, we got a real understanding of what they thought the end result would be. Now we've got a plan that shows them how we're going to get there. Take it to them, discuss it with them, tell them about how you got there, tell them about the constraints, tell them about the fact that the cement mixer person is on holiday for 3 weeks and that means this has to happen and you're jiggering it around here and there. Just talk them through the planning process that you've been through so that they can buy into the schedule. It's helpful to have some contingency time in there as well, and if contingency is a new term to use to you, then hop over to girlsguidetopm.com and search for contingency because there's some guidance there. So I think that brings you to the end of the project scheduling process where you've put together your plan. We've talked to stakeholders, we've found out about the goal, we've defined the deliverables, we've broken that down into tasks, we've added resources and people to tasks. We've then applied a level of common sense to the project schedule by looking at how long tasks are likely to take and whether people are actually available to do it. and we've applied a level of common sense to do with risk and looked at whether or not it would make more sense to do tasks in a slightly different order, just to help us have a better chance of success. Finally, we've taken that project plan, that schedule, discussed it back with our stakeholders. We've closed the loop. We've got everybody on the same page. Hopefully, fingers crossed, everyone thinks what we've planned is realistic, reasonable, achievable. The only thing that remains left to do is to go off and deliver it. So that's been a bit of a whistle-stop tour through the project planning process in response to an email that I got this week about how best to do that. So Trent, if you're watching, that one was for you. I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.